Hello and welcome again to another child-friendly introduction to photography with myself, Mr. Bill Welsford. So today we're going to look at flat lay photography, which is a heavily stylized sort of modern still life photography used a lot for websites and blogs and all sorts of other applications, including presentations like this. So my name's Mr. Welsford, but before we start, I'm just going to fill you in. I would have normally introduced this idea to the children weeks in advance, showing them some of the YouTube clips, which are linked at the end of this particular one, because it takes a lot of background information and planning and ideas all generated to produce the final photograph. So they've normally got a good idea of what's going to happen a long time in advance. They can collect all that information and items together. It's an indoor activity, or if you have to do it outside, sometimes it's appropriate outside for what you're doing. Then you just make sure it's sheltered and not windy, etc. That type of thing, and there's good lighting. Going to preferably need nice, good natural light from a window, which we can diffuse and we can manipulate somehow. We're going to use skills from our close-up, macro and low-light sessions. So it would be preferable if you completed those before doing this. Otherwise, you'll have to go and learn those little skills before. And this does seem to take a while. When I did this in my after-school club, they drank away the time. And I can see them getting very, very absorbed into the activity. And I basically had to sort of get the session wrapped up about 10 minutes beforehand, because the time seems to sort of drink itself away. Anyway, so what is flat lay photography? Simple definition, I guess. It's a photo, mostly indoors, of some objects arranged on a flat surface and taken directly from above, perpendicular. So it's literally right angles from above. Like sort of often called a bird's eye view, or I would say maybe like a drone cam view, if you can imagine a drone cam going over outside, taking pictures straight down. It's a very strong theme and very visual story. It's very heavily stylized for what you're applying it to. Very well thought through. Even things are left out that are not required, and lots of attention to detail. So how are they used? They're used for social media, blogs. Instagram is probably most likely to find a lot of this sort of stuff. It's possibly, I'm not sure, it might have actually started from Instagram. A lot of websites and presentations. The one on the top where it says lesson challenge, that doesn't apply to you. That's a diploma course I did online. He's used a flat lay, and he's got some space in the middle to put the text, and he's used it in his slideshow on the one on the bottom. That looks like you can tell that looks like some sort of blogger. They've got their laptop, they've got a cup of tea and some snacks, and they're obviously at home. They've got a notepad, so it gives you a little visual story. It's nice and clean and it's got a lot of impact. It's used a lot for a lot of food photography is done this way. Lots of hobbies and pastimes and collections and things like that. Small businesses use it to advertise their usually small products. And you'll see. Right, so we need to get some inspiration together, okay? You may have been given a project or presentation, or have one yourself you want to do in your own time. You'll need to get some ideas on maybe how to present this, maybe borrow some ideas. Nothing's going to quite fit the bill probably, so you probably have to do it yourself. This is where taking our own photographs is probably where we'll end up, even though some of the pictures you'll find on Google are pretty good anyway. And you need to collect those items together, specific items. You need to think about things in quite a bit of detail, really, and how you're going to use the photo. All right, let's have a little quick look around at this little one then. Can we guess the theme? Can you read the story or idea just by looking at the photo and the items in it? So we got a picture here, a big bright yellow thing in the middle. That looks like a notebook. Yes, it is. It's basically it's a product for sale from the company Lectrum 1917 apparently. They're obviously selling a notebook. And what would you do with notebooks? You plan, you write down ideas, and then you produce something else. So here we got the notebook. You got pens, obviously some sort of painting material there. There's silver paints in the right hand column. They've used to decorate the little chain on the left there. And there's lots of organic items, small organic items which have possibly been painted or decorated very carefully and methodically. So that gives you that kind of story, and it helps sell the notebook, gives you some lifestyle ideas, I guess. Here's another strong theme. Obviously coffee, free time, sugar and spice, and a bit of spare time. When you're in the spare time, you possibly might play a game of noughts and crosses with someone. So it's all about that. Nice warm simple theme and cozy colours and things like that. So there's that one. And again, we've got some other completely different ideas, but again, on the left you've got some stationery. We've got someone who likes drawing colour work and all the things they might have in a sort of like a design sort of studio. On the right you've obviously got some very fresh food. Obviously the theme there is fresh. The limited colours of white and green, bits of yellow and light brown, and again you can see how that's a very simple idea and very well thought through. Again, likewise, we have totally different themes here. We've got left hand, what looks like some sort of I guess some sort of time travel, not time travel as such, but you know, somewhere back in the past. Someone's got some travel items and some adventure pictures, and on the right you've got what looks like possibly someone making some marmalade or something. You've got some sliced oranges and products used to make that, and very clever use of a green contrasty background with the strong colours. Very, very, very cleverly done. Right, so we need to collect our items and themes and ideas, put them all together, and have an idea for our visual story, explanation or showcase. They all obviously all need to connect, and what kind of a person would they appeal to? We could get our ideas from anywhere. Could be grandma's dressing table, could be a bunch of things you've collected and haven't got around to do anything with. Anything really. Right, we need to get back to lighting and focus. It's all about lighting, as photography is. So probably best set up near a window where there's ample light coming through. You can use reflectors or pieces of white card, or even if you can just use like a white, like a white exercise book. Just open it, a blank page. You've got enough light reflecting off the pages there, and you can even see it's good exercise in itself just to see how the light reflects around to light up the picture, bounce light back from the other direction. I'd recommend you don't use a flash, because as you've done from one of our previous subjects, is it gives very harsh contrasty light, which isn't really going to help us. It's going to so I suggest you switch that off. Obviously that will mean you may need to use tripod or for a longer exposure. It's got to be nice and sharp. It's no point if it's blurry. It's not going to be eye-catching at all. You may want to use the information we gathered from our close-up macro session. And if you need to take the picture from higher up, you have to make sure it's safe, and maybe you need to consider how big your items are, and maybe work out a space that you can safely do this in. There's no point standing on tables, balancing on one leg. Anyway, right, so let's go to the background. That's the very important basis of everything. That could be anything you might think was boring. You need to look again. It might be very interesting. You've got wood paneling, flooring. The one on the left, you've got on the bottom, you've got some sand. Obviously someone's created that indoors with a little sandbox. In the one in the middle looks like a rusty piece of flat iron that they've thought was nice, great texture for what they're doing. You've got wooden boards used, as I said, it's quite used a lot for food, so you've got a lot of texture and interest in the background, and some negative space if you need it for text and things like that. Right, there's some basic ideas where you could just get some simple tabletops or simple flooring, even tarmac out in the playground possibly, or something indoors with a rug that looks quite interesting. So let's get busy. This is where we're going to spend a lot of time. Let's get composing our frame, our image. Maybe need to figure out how much space you need. It's got to be very well organised, can't be cluttered. You've got to lay it out nice and neatly. The strong theme, relevant for your application. Use of negative space, you've talked about already. Need quite a lot of balance. You don't want items all maybe the same size, maybe a mixture of sizes. See whether remember your composition from very early stages of this course. to give you the rule of thirds and the diagonal, all that sort of thing. And leave items out. If you've got a bunch of items and some of them are just not working, you can't fit them in, then you don't have to put them in, just leave them out. Sometimes that's what you leave out is as important as things you put in. So deliberate use of mess and spillage. Yes, you've seen some of them, they've deliberately spilt sugar everywhere maybe, or dropped some pencil shavings on the side, or got some evidence that something's worn out or being used, or a bit of dirt, this and that. That's cleverly thought out. That's not just randomly thrown in there. That's specifically put in there very cleverly, so you can maybe have a look at that. And you maybe put some lifestyle items in. Maybe you're drawing a colouring theme and you put something in that you happen to have with you. Same, you might be doing it at lunch. There might be a half-eaten sandwich on the side. You can get creative with that sort of thing. And oh yes, nearly forgot. Since it is the last thing on the list, you have to take the photographs, and you'll enjoy it. Okay, all the best, and I shall hopefully see you on the next one. And click on the links at the end of this to show some other things which are already on YouTube and very child appropriate. Thank you.